Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be drawing Seiya from Saint Seiya. And in fact I'm actually redrawing this old piece of artwork I did, which in it of itself is a redraw of an older thing I did. Just gonna do it every year and see, you know, how much I've improved. Just gonna remake it every year. Anyway, not much has been going on in my life. I mean, other than just life in general being kind of weird and hectic. Like, nothing that's like a fun story. Not like my book club nemesis having the same name as the rival in Pokemon Snap. Like, that was funny. Nothing quite like that has been going on in my life. Book club is a thing again. I can, in fact, go to my library and hang out with all the little old ladies and talk about books with them again, which is really nice because I miss that a lot over this whole whatever the fuck is going on with the world. Can't believe we're in the apocalypse and I still have to go to work. It's not fair. But yeah. So I am in 2 book clubs at my local library, a murder mystery book club and a science fiction book club. And I tend to like the sci-fi books more than the murder mystery books. I don't know, I find them really frustrating, even though I do read a lot of murder mystery books. It's why I joined the book club, but for some reason I just don't like them when I read them for book club. It's weird, I always have something to complain about. And I mean, it's not that I hate them all the time, but they tend to, they're not my favorites. Most of the time, I can't remember any that I've read for book club that I just really liked. Sci-fi book club tends to be better. Like one year we read N.K. Jemisin, one of her books. I think it was, what was it? The Stone Sky? It's the 3rd book in her, in one of her trilogies. And we read it, and I really liked it. So much that I went back and reread the other books that I hadn't gotten to read. And I love her writing. Those are the only books I've read of hers, but I like it. So I have a bunch of her books on my TBR list. Have not gotten through them as of yet. But, you know, so N.K. Jemisin was really good. Shoot. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a lot of books that I read for book club that I thought were awesome. We've read a lot of Ursula K. Le Guin, who I happen to really like, mostly because A Wizard of Earthsea is like my favorite book ever. So we've read a lot of her books, and that's fun. We don't have a lot going on for the rest of the year. We read this book called Persona, and I don't remember the author's name, but it's not good. Like, based on the premise of the novel, I was expecting something that was a lot more like political intrigue and cool stuff, and instead it's just like the attempted assassination of a politician, which, okay, fine, but that's not what I was here for. Like, I don't need, like, sometimes I am a big fan of, here's this really basic storyline, but make it sci-fi, okay? But this book was not really, here's this basic storyline and make it sci-fi. Like, they imply that there's some sci-fi bullshit going on, but it doesn't matter to the story. It's just kind of like window dressing to try and like reel you in, and then they just throw it away, and then it's just, you know, this woman trying to figure out who's trying to kill her, and I didn't finish it. I DNF'd my book club book, which is not uncommon for me. I try really hard to power through my book club books so that, you know, I have a lot to complain about. Even if I don't like it, I can participate in the conversation. But this one, I was just so bored. I would read a chunk, get tired of it real fast, like after like a few minutes. Like, I'd get through a couple of chapters and then I'd get tired of it, and then I'd put it down, and then it would be days before I thought about it again, and then I was like, oh shit, I have to finish that book for book club. And at this point I'm just like, no, it's not happening. I am not finishing that book. We're just gonna pretend I didn't even try. Actually, no, I'm gonna go to book club, and I'm gonna tell them exactly all of this. This is why I didn't like it. I also had a bit of a crisis for my Mystery Club book club. It's The Fallen Angel by Daniel Silva, and in chapter 2 they describe the man's watercolor brushes, and I had a conniption because, like, they're fine, serviceable, great, actually, watercolor brushes, but he's using them to restore an oil painting, which doesn't make sense. And the way to describe the way he's doing the restoration work is that he's applying pigment to this painting. So, like, he's using watercolor brushes to put oil paint on a canvas in which he could fuck up a, like, $10,000 painting that belongs to the Vatican. And I lost it because you can't use watercolor brushes for that. Like, the paint alone would eat them alive, and then they have zero control, and you're not gonna... Yeah, anyway, I not that I am particularly good at oil painting, and I haven't watercolor painted, like, in a year, but, like, I know enough. I know enough to know that this does not work. So I was upset, and I had to text all of my friends at 3 a.m. because I was reading it at work. And I work overnight, and I just sent them this wall of text, like, hey, yeah, so anyway, I am having better luck with this book than the last 2 mystery books I've read for book club. Those ones both started real slow, and I didn't like them, and then they picked up, and then I was like, alright, this is cool. I liked the second one more. It was 13 by Kavanaugh. Something Kavanaugh, I don't remember. He wanted St. Brett, but that's a politician, I think. A politician I don't like, I'm sure. Either that or he's a news anchor I don't like. Can't remember all of a sudden. Yeah, but that one was fun. I didn't like how it started, but mostly, like, the format was what got me. Because it alternates every other chapter between, like, the lawyer main character and the serial killer bad guy. And at first, like, I didn't care. Like, the lawyer would be onto this clue, and he's gonna figure shit out, and then it would cut very abruptly to whatever the serial killer is doing. And for the longest time, I didn't like it till about halfway through, in which they're actually in the same room. And so, like, watching the lawyer do his thing, and then cutting immediately to what the serial killer thinks about that thing was actually really nice. But, like, in the beginning, it was kind of obnoxious. And every time I got to the serial killer chapters, I wanted to put it down and not bother with it ever again. I am apparently very picky about my genre fiction literature. I mean, I know snooty book people tend to not consider things like mystery novels or science fiction books as proper literature, because they're jackasses. No other way to put it. Yeah, they're just genre fiction doesn't count as proper literature, and I hate it so much. But I read a lot of genre fiction because it's actually good. You know, reading proper literature, and it's just like some English professor contemplating how he's going to cheat on his wife, and I'm just like, this is boring, this is terrible, why should I bother with this? It's not fun. And what's the point of reading if it's not fun? So yeah, anyway, it's exciting to be at book club again. Most of the same crowd came back. We're missing a couple of people. My nemesis, Phil, has not come back yet. I'm excited about that. Hope he's doing other things in his life, because I just did not like him, and it's nice to not have him around. But there's this other guy who is quickly replacing Phil as my nemesis. His name is Don. He, like, where I live, we have to wear masks inside. So, like, they let us have book club again, but you have to wear a mask inside. And they try to limit how many people can be there, right? So, Don comes in and immediately takes off his mask, and then we all yell at him, but then, so he'll put it back on, but then every time he speaks, he takes it off, and we keep getting upset with him. And then he's really stupid. Like, I don't like actually calling real people stupid, but he is. Like he very much is. There are no actual like thoughts going on in his head, because like one day he asked me, it was a couple years ago at this point, and he just started coming to book club, and he asked me why the book was called what it was, which was weird to me because like normally a lot of books don't like title drop. That's not really a thing, and sometimes you kind of have to sort of guess what the title has in relation to the actual content of the book. But like one of the rare occasions, the book straight up says the title of the book at the end. Like it I don't even remember what book it was, but it went through and it had this nice explanation, and then the closing line of the book was the title of the book. And then he sat there and he's like, why is it called this? And I'm like, well, because, you know, and I gave him the explanation at the end, and I was like, and then that's the last line of the book, so that's the title of the book. And he was really confused, like he didn't understand. And then I actually had to open a copy of the book and show him, and he's like, oh. I mean, this book, like, I don't know, I probably shouldn't be actually naming people in book club, but like I don't intend anyone in book club to watch these videos. But yeah, I don't know, I don't like him. He drives me crazy. And sometimes he insists on sitting next to me, and I hate that even more. I'm like, just sir, please go sit a couple chairs away, please. Yeah, so there's that. But otherwise, you know, my book woes. I have caught up on One Piece, read all of it. Really, kind of, Sanji is my favorite character, as you all may know, because I draw a lot of Sanji. And I'm nervous about his current character arc. Like, I don't think, if it were any other series, I wouldn't be worried he was gonna die, but like, Oda doesn't care about killing characters, even if they're popular characters. Because I think like Ace, I think, is still like one of the most, like one of the everybody's like everybody loves Ace. He's one of the most popular characters, and he's dead. He was brutally murdered in an arc like years ago, and he's still one of the most popular characters. And yeah, Oda doesn't care if it works. If it makes a good story, he will in fact kill that character. So I have some concerns about what'll happen to Sanji, because, you know, it could be a good character arc for character, like, story arc to, like, have him die, but I don't want him to die. Like, I'm really upset about it. Had a lot of feelings about it, and had to message one of my friends, my buddy Emily, at like midnight. No, that was also at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when I get the chance to like go sit in the back office and do whatever at work. Yeah, so I texted her, and of course she wasn't awake, so I had to wait until like 7 o'clock in the morning when she was awake, and she saw all those messages, and she's like, no, tell me, I'm awake. And yeah, so I bombarded her with my stress about what's gonna happen to Sanji in One Piece. Yeah, I probably need a better hobby than stressing myself out about fictional characters, but this is the world we live in which like these are the kicks I get out of just life. This is what I do to have fun. Anyway, in other news, I have ideas for my other channel. like my like the channel in which you actually see my face, which only has like 6 videos because I kind of hate looking at myself. But it's easier to edit just me talking at a camera versus like animations of any sort. But I don't know, I hate looking at myself, so I might do other things with that channel, but I have ideas for stuff to do with it. That channel does not get a lot of action because those videos involved lots of like research and writing, which was fun, but like not as fun as I had drawing. Like, if you can tell, like I haven't been very good about posting videos on my art channel this year, but when I started I was doing real great, and I still, even with my content production being significantly slowed down because I have a full-time job now, I still produce a lot more content for this channel, even if it's just me rambling with no cohesion whatsoever at a mic for 20 to 30 minutes while you watch me do a speed paint. It's fine. I'm still pumping out content that I have fun making, whereas that other channel is harder to make content for. But I do have some ideas of things that I would like to do and kind of get back into that. We'll see how it goes, since, you know, I do in fact have a full-time job now, which is not great. Like, sure, I have benefits now, but I still don't make enough to like if I had to buy a new car, I couldn't afford it, which is wild. And actually I have to go get my car repaired. Like, I'm down a car. Like, I'm not buying a new one, it's just gotta get repaired because some asshole hit me in the Target parking lot. So that was fun. Gotta deal with that. My dad doesn't want me to drive it until we get it looked at because he's worried, because my car is a lot smaller than the other guy's car. Like, it didn't do a lot of damage. Like, it doesn't look like it's a lot of damage because we were in a parking lot, so no one was going very fast. But my dad doesn't want me to drive it because he's worried that something got really messed up when the guy hit me, and yeah, so I'm kind of stuck at home unless my friends want to give me rides, and my dad has to drive me to work because, yeah, I can't get my car. I can't even get an estimate for the repairs until Thursday, and then they keep telling me like they might not be able to actually take it that day, and I'm like, what's the point of me taking my car over if you're not gonna actually start fixing it? Anyway, on the bright side, like, my car insurance is like, yeah, we can give you a rental, but I can't get the rental until they actually take my car for repairs, which is kind of stupid. And the lady, I called to clarify, you know, when I can get the rental, and the lady on the phone was like really mean to me about it, because I just kept asking her like, okay, so when they take my car I can call the rental place, and she's like, well, no, because they're only doing the estimate on Thursday. And I was like, yeah, no, I understand they're doing the estimate. Eventually they are going to take my car, and then I can call the rental place, right? And she's like, but they're only doing, I know they're only doing an estimate, but eventually, after the estimate, they'll set up a time for me to drop off my car, and then they will keep it for however long it takes to fix it. And when that happens, I call the rental car company, right? And she's like, yes. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I wanted to know. But I spent like 5 minutes on the phone asking the same question, having her berate me for not, like, for being stupid, I guess. Like, she's trying to tell me I'm, like, being stupid. Like, no, that you don't get the car. Like, it doesn't count because you're only, I know I'm getting an estimate on Thursday, but eventually they're gonna take my car, and I'm asking you, that's when you want me to call the rental car company, because they already submitted the forms to the rental car company, and they kept calling me. They called me to, like, figure out when I can get when I should come and get the rental car, but I'm not paying for, like, it's only gonna get paid for by the insurance company while the car, or like my actual car, is being repaired. So I'm not gonna go get it until like I drop off my actual car. So my dad's stuck driving me to work, but like it's fine. But like I just needed to know, like, because they already got a hold of me and are trying to set up when I can pick up the car. So I had to call the insurance company back and be like, hey, so when exactly? Because they're already trying to set up something and I need to know when exactly, like, I should do that. And she was a bitch and I did not like her. The first lady I was on the phone with was actually really nice and helpful. The new lady was not, because I thought they wouldn't actually do the rental car thing until after I'd gotten an estimate, but no, the rental car company called me like 20 minutes after I hung up the phone. Not even 20 minutes, it was more like 10. But they called me back immediately after I got off the phone with the insurance people, so, you know, there's that. So, you know, that's why, and the other lady was so mean to me, and it was not a good time, and I was very upset about it when it all happened, but, you know, we're done now. I just gotta wait to take my car in, and then, you know, it'll be fine. And we're done! Hopefully you had fun watching me draw that. Hopefully my incoherent rambling was a good enough time. Don't forget to leave a like or a comment. Subscribe to see more content. I am on Tumblr and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. And I will see you next time. Bye!